Welcome. Tonight, let's drift into a world that almost was. A world just like ours, but slightly different. The year is 1979, and humanity has done something extraordinary. We've built a home on the moon. Not in secret, not in fantasy, but in the eyes of the world. Tonight, I'll take you on a peaceful journey through glowing lunar valleys, soft silver plains, and the quiet domes of the very first moon colony. Let's imagine, what if humans had really colonized the moon in the 1970s? Chapter 1. The First Stone. Back in 1969, the world held its breath. Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon and left the first human footprint. But in this version of history, that footprint wasn't just a symbol, it was a beginning. Instead of scaling back, NASA, the USSR, and scientists from around the world decided to stay. Not just for missions, but for good. By 1972, construction began. They called it Lunar Station Tranquility, built in the Sea of Tranquility where Apollo 11 had landed. At first, it was just a few silver domes buried in lunar soil to block the radiation. Crews rotated in and out, leaving behind pieces each time: a module, a greenhouse, a solar panel, and slowly, a tiny town began to bloom on the moon. Chapter 2. Life in Tranquility. By 1975, 26 people lived full-time in Tranquility. They weren't just astronauts, they were teachers, cooks, engineers, and dreamers. Every morning started with a soft amber glow as artificial lights simulated sunrise inside the domes. Outside, there was no sunrise, only the long shadows of day and night that moved slowly across the surface. Earth hung still in the sky above, a swirling blue-white globe always in view. Meals were simple: stews, freeze-dried grains, fresh kale from the dome farms. But everything tasted better when eaten with a view of Mare Imbrium. There was quiet, there was stillness, there was peace. Chapter 3. The Sound of Silence. Silence on the moon is like nothing on Earth. No wind, no birds, no rustling leaves, only stillness. Outside the habitat, the only sound was the soft crunch of boots in dust and the occasional hum of a rover passing by. On Sundays, the colonists turned off all non-essential machines. They called it the quiet hour. They gathered in the glass dome, sipped warm tea from squeeze packs, and watched Earth rise as thunderclouds danced over continents and oceans spun slowly below. It reminded them. Chapter 4. Children of the Stars. In 1977, something miraculous happened. A baby was born on the moon. Her name was Alara. She was healthy, strong, and grew up calling Earth the faraway place. Alara learned to walk in lower gravity, her tiny steps bouncing higher than normal. She drew crayon pictures of the Earth and kept a moon rock under her pillow. For her, the moon wasn't a frontier. It was simply home. Soon, more families followed. The habitat expanded, now with a lunar library, a music room, and even a theater. Once, a group of colonists performed Shakespeare in spacesuits, to be or not to be, under the stars. Chapter 5. Gardens of Glass. To survive on the moon, humans had to grow, literally. By 1979, vast geodesic greenhouses had sprouted across Tranquility. Lettuce curled under UV lamps, tomatoes floated in nutrient gels, and bees, tiny robotic ones, pollinated from pod to pod. Colonists grew not just food, but beauty. Orchids bloomed beside potatoes, vines climbed trellises shaped like spirals of DNA. Children learned the names of plants as their first words: basil, spinach, lavender. The scent of green became a comfort, a thread that tied them back to Earth. Chapter 6. Earthlight Festival. Each year, on the night of the winter solstice, the colonists would gather for a tradition they created themselves, the Earthlight Festival. They would dim all lights in the colony and let only the soft blue glow of Earth shine in. They'd share stories from Earth, grandparents, cities, forests, oceans. They'd cook their best meal of the year. There was always music. Some played recordings from Earth, but others composed melodies just for the moon. One song, called The Weightless Waltz, was so moving. People cried while floating gently in the zero-G room. They danced with their feet barely touching the ground, held each other close, and remembered why they were there. Not to escape Earth, but to reflect its light on the moon. Chapter 7. The Last Night of the Decade. December 31st, 1979. The end of a bold decade. As midnight approached, the colonists gathered on the observation deck. Someone had brought sparkling apple cider in a vacuum-sealed thermos. Another played an old cassette tape of Sinatra singing "Fly Me to the Moon." They counted down. 10, 9, 8, until the final moment. But there were no fireworks on the moon, no loud celebrations, just a quiet cheer, a few tears, and the soft hum of life support. The first decade of lunar living had passed, and the future was unwritten. Would there be cities carved into craters? Would epilogue, a dream drifting? And now, as you close your eyes, imagine what it would feel like to fall asleep under a lunar sky. The dust settled, the hum of the habitat cradling you like a lullaby. Outside, the stars don't twinkle, they blaze steadily. Earth hangs in the sky, watching over you, like a guardian. In this world that almost was, and might someday be, humanity found a quiet place to dream, a second home, not perfect, but peaceful. And in the silence of the moon, your dreams begin to take flight. Good night, traveler, and may your journey among the stars be gentle and kind.